Hey y'all, welcome back to Ascending with Ashley. I'm Ashley. Hi. This is Hidden Messages in Media class. I forgot last week had a Wednesday in it, so I wasn't here for it. But it's Sunday today, so I thought I'd record for Wednesday. I guess I don't fucking know. Who cares? Let's decolonize from the need to always be doing the same thing. Okay. And also the time frame of the system. Alright? Sure. Let's go with that. Okay, reality TV. If you don't have the work... God, can you comb your tits? If you don't have the workbook, let me show you this great collage I found on the Google. I'm so exhausted, but I have energy for this, so here we are. These are like all reality TV shows. I'm not gonna keep you here very long. I don't really have the capacity to talk about this too much. But I feel kind of bad for forgetting about it on Wednesday. So, when did reality TV take off? I remember when reality TV took off, it was like, I think Survivor. Was Survivor the first one? Should we use Google for this? I don't know if it was like the absolute first. I think according to my research when I was putting this stuff together, I think there was talk of how reality TV started in like the 50s, but come on, please. The real reality TV started in like the 90s or the 2000s. So let me read some of these first, okay? The Real World. Oh, The Real World. That was the first one. The Real World. I don't think this is chronological, but it's kind of giving that. So Real World. That's hard for me to say. Extreme Home Makeover or Extreme Makeover Home Edition. I love that show. I fucking love that show. Okay. America's Top Model. Tyra Banks was such a douche and very fat phobic. Okay. Big Brother, boring. Survivor, The Voice, Amish Mafia, never heard of it. Undercover Boss, The X Factor, Fear Factor. Oh my god, Dancing with the Stars. The Apprentice. Remember when he was just a reality TV show host? Those were the good old days. Jesus. Toddlers and Tiaras. The Bachelor. American Idol. Ew, Kardashians. Okay, but that's not reality TV at all. I mean, maybe when it started. I've never watched that show. That is a flex. Alright. Bachelor is on here. It's not really Real World either. The Amazing Race. Did I say Toddlers and Tiaras? What the fuck? Teen Mom, Catfish. So You Think You Can Dance. Storage World. Shark Tank. American Idol is on here like a million times. Anyway, okay, let's talk about why I thought it was important to include this in the course. Okay, well, first we'll get there. So when did reality TV take off? I remember because it was like a flip. I think it must have been at the turn of the century. Either way, it was pretty close. It was, I mean, early 2000s, late 90s. They really started pushing it, right? Especially Real World. When did Real World start? So if you don't know, Real World was on MTV. Real World started when? Wow, I didn't even type very well. 1992 it started. Okay. I was way too young to watch it, so it must have been throughout the 90s into the 2000s. That makes sense. Alright. Punk'd is on here. Is Jackass on here? Because that was a good show. That wasn't really Real World. Anyway, so when did reality TV take off is my question. So down at the bottom I have these prompts. If you want the workbook, there's a link for the Canva PDF PDF in the description box. Why do you think it got so popular? What objectives can you see it filling, like systemically? And how were you impacted by it? What other thoughts do you have about reality TV? I know that like TV isn't really a thing anymore with like streaming services. So I think it's really important to talk about this though, because especially with that 1992 start date for MTV. So that was really The Real World was really targeted for like very elder millennial slash Gen X. And I remember watching The Real World, not the first season, but I remember we watched some of it when I was growing up. Now that I'm actually thinking about dates and shit. Of course, at my friend's house, my parents would never let me watch that shit. Anyway, I think one of the things that's really important about reality TV is that it's not real at all, but what it does is it provides a narrative for competition, and also how the populace can... I think reality TV, because this was like before internet, it was before we could like at our favorite celebrities and shit. So it felt like it was like a filler in for celebrity worship versus like normal people, that it was like this meeting space in the middle, because normal people could take this step and become a reality TV star and get into celebrity culture. I think that, from my point of view, that's kind of how it felt. If you were around, you can come to your own conclusion on that. But I think that's what it felt. It made Hollywood and celebrities seem like something to be achieved, which I know we've talked about in other... And now social media has influencers, which also gives that same vibe. Because that's that hope piece of society, of this capitalist society, where entertainment is like portrayed as this like final destination, or like you're, and I think the ironic thing about this is like anyone who enters into Hollywood or dance or singing or acting, a lot of those folks were like theater kids, but like theater kids are like hella made fun of, right? I mean, I don't know, they were in my day. So it's just an interesting thing to think about how people with talent who have reached that level of celebrity, everyone has to start somewhere. So I think reality TV made it feel like it was attainable. Attainable or obtainable? Attainable? Google. I'm gonna miss Google. I don't want to work with AI, even though I think it's attainable. Succeed in achieving, attainable. So anyway, I think that's one of the most important distinctions about it. It also is highly dramatized, so I think that a lot of people took on facades or like characteristics of like, I'm sure you've watched reality TV. I used to really like The Bachelor a couple years ago because like I was in no drama, and I'm like, I really just want to witness drama that I'm not a part of, and so I watched The Bachelor because I'm like, I get my fix. I'm no longer in that space. I have no tolerance for drama at all. But when I did, I enjoyed watching The Bachelor. And I think that's another thing, is it's like the storyline of reality TV, every person has a character or persona that they are meant to fulfill within the show. And I think back in the day, before, social media, before our ability to really communicate with each other at this rate, it was the way that a lot of people got their personality traits, was by mimicking the modeled behavior in reality TV. I think that those objectives are also... I think that's why it got popular. I think that's also the objectives from the system, is it fulfilled social control in that way of like people believing that it was attainable ultimately, and it kept people entertained. People would go home and watch it, right? But again, with streaming services and everything else, things have really, really changed. But reality TV was a turning point in our society's social context, right? For all of the things I've already said. How are you impacted by it? We already spoke about that a little bit. But ultimately, I think that reality TV was a big moment I remember it so vividly. It was a big shift of entertainment. And it served its purpose and what we're seeing now. And I think what's interesting is that with, like I already mentioned, the influencer culture now, and we talked about this, was it last week when we talked about commercials and stuff, those things have become more attainable, but within that, with people obtaining or getting to that level of success, it's still a form of selling out. And also, your success is contributing to the wealth gap. If you're a person, you are considered, whatever, when you get to a certain point. And so I'm thinking of the movie She's All That right now because that movie came out in, 99, I think? One of my favorites. I really resonate with Lainey Boggs. What's up, babe? Yeah, it came out in 99, but there's a character in the movie played by the guy who plays Shaggy in the Scooby-Doo, I don't know his name. He was also in Good Girls. He's the husband in Good Girls. But anyway, Brock Johnson, I think is his name in the movie, and so in the movie, his character was someone on the real world. And so that's what I'm thinking of, because he was just, in that movie, his character portrayed such a ridiculous level of I'm a celebrity when he really was not at all. And I think that kind of just speaks to the point I'm trying to make, is like American Idol too was like such a pivotal moment when Kelly Clarkson, she was the first winner, I think, when Kelly Clarkson won. It just gave people this sense of I could do that, right? Which is great. Yeah, you need to be motivated, but you can reach success in different ways as well. And I think this has really played out again with streaming services and just our ability to have social media and be self-made in these times. But this was a pivotal moment for society. Again, I've already said that like 80 times. I'm going to let you go. I think we did it justice over here. Yeah, classes are getting shorter and shorter. I'm super over it. Because regardless of what we talk about, shit is still hitting the fan. We were going to do an overview of V for Vendetta for next week, or for the next class. I've already done a movie Monday about V for Vendetta, so the next thing that we will be exploring is music, lyrics, notes, frequencies, and we'll talk about that in regards to social control. All right? Have a good one.